Sis, when I tell you, every time I get off the phone with my mentor, who is a business and money and health mentor, mind you, and mindset, I'm in tears. I am in tears. And let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. So we get on a call because we're supposed to be talking about like my financial plan going forward and some business stuff that I want to do in my business. And when I tell you, she has this gift to see you and see past like your walls, your what is it called? What are they called? See past your defense mechanisms and everything else, right? She pulled my card today, and really we had end up having a conversation about being vulnerable versus being victorious, and how in my businesses I show up, especially when I'm creating content, I show up victorious and not really wanting to show up vulnerable. And so, I was getting emotional about that because I'm like, in my childhood growing up, there was no reward, only negative reward for showing up vulnerable. There was no space to show up vulnerable. It was only space to show up victorious. That's where you got the praise. That's where it felt like you got the love, you got the attention that you wanted. So obviously I'm 36 years old, and that's how I'm running my life. I'm showing up victorious, hiding, not sharing, not being vulnerable with others. But yet I have this calling and this desire to serve and support other women. And she's like, and I see that in you, and I know you want to do it, but you have to be vulnerable in order to connect with other people. You can't show up like always having it together. Otherwise, how would they know that you never really had it together in the first place? There's no connection point. It's just you talking to them and instructing them and giving them this instruction manual, right? And I just started bawling on the phone with her because I'm like, this whole time I'm thinking I'm vulnerable because I'm telling people what I've been through. But when I tell you I only scratch the surface, there are certain things that I keep near dear to my heart. There are certain things where I guard with my life because it's just like, oh no, that's too vulnerable. Like that's too much. But like she said, those are the things that women need to hear, and also women are going through as well. And so, if I had to sum up, if I had to sum up our conversation, it was like being vulnerable versus being victorious. Like, we already know, sis, that you know how to overcome something. What is it that you overcame? Walk us through that journey. Walk us through what you went through. Like, tell us what happened so I can connect with you, especially if you want to serve and support other women. We have to be able to relate to you, to identify with you, to see ourselves in you. And when I tell y'all, the thought of that gave me like anxiety. It gave me, it just made me super emotional because, like I said, child, and y'all know, sis, you already know the things that we've learned in childhood, both good and bad, stays with us until we acknowledge it or somebody acknowledges it in us. And so that's one thing I told her. I said, I didn't even know I was showing up that way. I didn't even know that that's what I was doing. That's just how I've been functioning for 36 years of my life. And until I started connecting with her, and her being my mentor and me being in her mentorship group, and even like, I'm not even gonna hold you, even me wanting to share that I work with a mentor, which I don't have no problem with sharing that, because I feel like every coach needs a coach, every mentor needs a mentor, every therapist needs a therapist. Like, I'm very vocal about that. However, the thought of me telling somebody else who I use to where they use them too, and we're in the same circle, and if I'm vulnerable there, they'll see me vulnerable. Like, that was a whole thing. Like me trying to gatekeep the mentor, right? And it's like, no, let other people, if they resonate with her, if she resonates with them, give them the link, like send them the link, sis, you know. So I actually just put the link to her membership group, which is very affordable and highly valuable. And she has an entry point, well, not an entry point, what did you call it, a introductory offer, because she's just starting up with her online business and everything else, and mentorship groups and everything, to where it's affordable, but the amount is going up soon. And so I'm just like, girl, just put the link in your bio, in your link tree, so if people are interested, they'll have access to her too, because you're not the only one out here trying to get a breakthrough. You're not the only one out here that needs help in these different areas, that needs a mentor who sees them, who spends time with them, who gets on a phone call, who's not just in it for the income, but in it for them and their results. And so her name is Professor Trish. I've said her name a couple of times in a couple of different videos, but Professor Trish, if you're watching this, stop making me cry, sis. This ain't even pregnancy cry, because I probably would have been crying and feeling vulnerable on that call, even if I wasn't pregnant. But I'm just so thankful for her, like, in all seriousness, like, you know, the idea of being vulnerable and going deeper in my content to where I can serve and support women in a deeper way. It is a scary thought, but it's a necessary one, because the calling that God has placed on my life, he is calling me to do it, right? And I want to do it. Like, I love serving and supporting women, and not just in finances. I want to talk about marriage. I want to talk about motherhood. I want to talk about stepmotherhood. I want to talk about health. I want to talk about fitness. I want to talk about child rearing. I want to talk about all these different things. If you've ever been to one of my brunches here in my city, I host a Black Women Who Brunch group, right? And they're asking questions and we're talking, and every time they're like writing down everything I'm saying, and like, oh my gosh, why don't you talk about this? Why don't you talk about that? Like, why don't you talk about this on your platform? Like Professor Trish told me today, you hide behind finance, you hide behind like trying to look put together and look like professional, that you don't really talk about what you've been through and how you overcame it and how you know all these other things. And the reason why you know all these other things is because you've been through some stuff. You don't want to acknowledge that you've been through some stuff because you're trying to repress it and you're trying to dissociate from it. Girl. And this is all in a 30-minute conversation, mind you. This is all in a 30-minute conversation. So I say all that to say, y'all, I'm doing the work. I'm right there in the trenches with y'all. If you feel like life is lifing right now, if you feel like you've been crying more than ever in your hiding place, in your bed, whether that's in your bed, your prayer room, your prayer closet, in the shower, whatever, girl, me too. Me freaking too. And I think now more than ever, we need to see other women vulnerable, and not necessarily, we have it together, but we don't have it all together all the time. And that's okay. We can still be successful. We can still be powerful. We can still be all those different things, even though we cried the night before, even though one part of our life was in shambles, right? We can still be human and still be powerful and effective. And that is one thing my mentor is teaching me. And so I did put her link in my bio. If y'all want to talk to her or see what she's about or anything like that, feel free. I'm no longer gatekeeping her because it's just too good. And I'm going to continue to utilize her. And I know me utilizing her is going to help serve and support the people that I'm called to at a higher level. And I'm pretty excited about that. Absolutely excited about that. So we can absolutely be victorious and be vulnerable. You hear me? You can be vulnerable. It's okay. You can fail and have failures in life and pick yourself back up. It's okay, right? The Bible says, and I was just reading this, that the righteous person falls down 7 and gets back up 8. Meaning that you could still be a woman of God. You could still be useful. You could still be successful, even though you keep falling down. You still have the ability to get back up, period. So let me know how y'all feel in the comments about this video.